With the Overwatch League season over, have you had your fill of competitive Overwatch action and are starting your hibernation for the long off-season? Of course you haven't, because Overwatch Contenders needs you to come and support Tier 2 Overwatch with the Gauntlet in just a week's time, on October 9th. That's right, it's only 7 days away on the 9th of October at the Giga Arena in Seoul, and will go on until the 13th of October. Some of you who haven't been watching much of the competitive Overwatch scene outside of the Overwatch League may be asking yourselves, what is the Gauntlet? Well, quite simply, it is a tournament that will determine which Tier 2 team is the best in the world right now. Based upon regional performances at both the Atlantic and Pacific Showdowns, which went down earlier this year, 10 invites were handed out and split amongst the contenders' regions. These invites were subsequently won by the top teams within their respective regions during this past contenders season. So, who is competing? Representing the Korean region are Runaway, Element Mystic, and Gen G. The North American region is sending Atlanta Academy, Team Envy, XL2 Academy, and the Gladiators Legion. The Chinese region only received one invite, which was snapped up by LGE Huya. The Pacific region are in the same situation, and they are sending Talon Esports, which finally leaves one last invite, which comes from the winner of the European region, which is HSL Esports. But how does it all work? Let's just break it down. Just like in the Overwatch League playoffs, the Gauntlet will be run in a double elimination format. However, it does have its own unique twist, and that is that before the finals bracket, a group stage will be played out, but also in its own double elimination format. Firstly, it's important to mention that as a reward for finishing first at the showdowns earlier this year, the top team from North America and Korea will both receive a buy into the upper side of the Gauntlet's finals bracket, and those teams are Runaway and Atlanta Academy. The remaining 8 teams have been split into 2 groups, with Group A consisting of Element Mystic, Talon Esports, HSL Esports, and lastly, XL2 Academy, whilst Group B consists of Team Envy, the Gladiators Legion, Gen G, and finally LGE Huya. The aim of the group stage is to seed these teams before they can enter the Gauntlet finals bracket, whilst eliminating the worst team from each group. In Group A, Element Mystic are set to take on Talon Esports, which will then be followed up by a series between HSL Esports and XL2 Academy. The winners of these respective matches will face off in the group stage final to determine the number 1 seed, whereas the losers will compete to remain within the Gauntlet itself in a losers semi, with the defeated side here being sent home. This then will leave one more match to play to establish the number 2 and number 3 seeds in the group, with the loser of the group stage final playing the victor of the elimination loser semi. Hopefully that explanation makes sense, or at least can be understood through the bracket on screen, but I'll also be leaving a link down below in the description to an interactive bracket if you'd like further information. This format is then repeated for Group B, with the first round matchups pitting Team Envy against the Gladiators Legion, before Gen G go up against LGE Huya. As I explained earlier, at the conclusion of this group stage, we should learn the team from each group that has been eliminated, as well as how the remaining 3 sides have been seeded. The number 1 seeds from Group A and Group B are rewarded by being placed in the upper side of the Gauntlet finals bracket, against the 2 teams which receive buys, with the winner of Group A coming up against the Atlanta Academy, whilst the winner of Group B plays Runaway. Now looking at the lower side of the bracket in the meantime, the number 2 seed from Group A will play the number 3 seed from Group B, and vice versa. From here on it will progress as you would expect within a double elimination setup, with the overall winner from the upper bracket taking the first spot in the Gauntlet Grand Final, as the lower bracket will progressively eliminate one team after another until we uncover our other finalist, just like we had in the Overwatch League playoffs. Again, hopefully the links that I'll leave down below answer any further questions you might have in regards to the bracket, although I'll try to answer any questions if I can down below in the comments. The only other thing to discuss are the rules for the Gauntlet. Matches will be first to 3 maps, except for the Winners Final, Losers Final, and Gauntlet Finals, which will be first to 4, and just like in the Overwatch League playoffs, 2-2-2 roll-up will be enforced. One aspect of the Gauntlet that some people may not actually be aware of is that all Overwatch League teams have been invited to send representatives to it in Seoul, who will all have direct access to all the teams and players involved for interviews throughout the event as they seek to bolster their rosters moving to the 2020 season, making this an early event in the off-season for Overwatch League teams to begin recruiting from Tier 2. All in all though, I for one am incredibly excited to see what the Gauntlet itself produces, as some of the contenders matches I've personally watched this year up to now have been brilliant spectacles. Even if you haven't watched Tier 2 Overwatch before, and solely like watching the Overwatch League, I'd strongly recommend you give the Gauntlet a chance, as it will let you experience some of the great talent that Tier 2 can offer. Some of the highest rated talents heading into this off-season, such as Sparkle from Element Mystic, will be competing here, giving you a great chance to see why your team might want to pick him up, as he competes on a top stage under pressure. Not forgetting also the fantastic broadcast, casting, and behind the scenes talent that across all the Contenders regions I personally think have really boosted the Contenders scene this year. This video has hopefully given you a general overview and preview of the upcoming Gauntlet, which I'd urge you to watch as part of supporting Tier 2 Overwatch. Over the coming week though, I will be posting more specific previews on each of the 10 teams involved, so if you enjoyed and don't want to miss out, please like, subscribe and follow me on Twitter for this continuing competitive Overwatch coverage and content, especially around the Gauntlet. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.